Hello, Professor. Today I'm here to present our study titled An Empirical Study of Bank Computation Affecting SME Financing Constraints. First of all, our paper is divided into 5 parts, which are Introduction, Literature Review, Research Methodology, Results, and Analysis and Conclusion. Part 1 is an introduction. The research background of this paper is basically the reform of China's banking sector and the intensification of market competition, as well as the current situation of financing difficulties of small and medium-sized enterprises. This paper is devoted to exploring whether bank competition can ease SMEs' financing constraints and whether there are differences in the rules of banks of different sizes and how the financing constraints of private firms and state-owned enterprises differ. In terms of sample selection, we selected listed firms, especially SMEs in China's growth enterprise market, and the data are derived from listed firms in China's GEMs from 2012 to 2022. The importance of the studies are the impact of bank competition, the role of banks of different sizes, and the analysis of differences in the nature of firms. The purpose of the study is to explore the specific impact of bank competition on SME financing constraints and validate differences between different types of banks in relieving financing constraints, as well as the policy recommendations to optimize the banking system service to SMEs. Regarding the research significance, we elaboration through academic and practical significance. Part 2 is the literature review. The literature review analyzes the banking sector mainly in terms of competition and financing constraints. Our study has 2 main series, and the first series is the static trade-off theory, and the second is the preferential financing theory. There are some key literature indicates the obstacles to financing are important bottlenecks to the development of SMEs, and the information asymmetry and high transaction costs exacerbate SME financing difficulties. And we find the gap which insufficient research on the impact of competition on financing constraints in China's banking sector. The part 3 is methodology. This paper presents 2 hypotheses to one of financing distress and banking dependence, and the other for financing constraints and bank competition. Our data is selected from financial data of China GM listed companies from 2017 to 2022. We selected GM listed companies as representatives of SMEs because their financial data are publicly available. However, they also have a little limitation. For example, they do not cover unlisted companies, and there may be a representativeness bias. The main objectives of constructing the model are to measure the financing constraints of SMEs, to verify the mitigating effect of banking competition on financing constraints, and to explore the heterogeneous effects of different bank sizes on financing constraints. The data are characterized by changes in firms' cash holdings as the core explanatory variable. Our study used a linear regression model to analyze the effect of bank competition on the financing constraints of SMEs. The model is used to measure the degree of financing constraints of SMEs. In the analysis, 2 aspects are developed. One is the moderating effect analysis, which uses the HHI as a measure to the degree of bank competition, and the other is the heterogeneity analysis of bank size, which is used to examine the ruler for different sizes of bank. The part 4 is empirical results and analysis. First, we use a descriptive statistic which shows the mean, standard, error, maximum, and minimum values of the variables cash holding, cash flow, and reflecting the characteristics of the main variables in the model. and we find that SME's cash holdings are highly volatile, with a mean of negative. Secondly, we applied the correlation and analyzed and observed a 1% significant correlation between the variables with a high correlation coefficient of 0.406 being much less than 0.7, which preliminarily determined that there was no multilinearity problem between the independent variables. Finally, we analyze the baseline regression and find that the cash flow regression coefficient of 0.213 is significant at the 1% level, indicating that cash flow is positively correlated with changes in cash holdings, validating the financing constraints of Chinese SMEs. The part 5 is the conclusion. Based on the previous research, we can conclude the SMEs in China experience significant funding challenges due to their inherent characteristics and the country's financial environment. Increased banking competition and growth of small to medium bank branches and effectively address these constraints. The conclusions can be briefly summarized in the following 3 points. First, the SME's financing constraints are significant. Second, the ruler of branch expansion of small banks is more pronounced. And third, competition in the bank sector eases financing difficulties. Through the previous research and conclusions drawn, we have put forward some policy recommendations for reference at the bank, government, and the enterprise levels, respectively. Thank you for your attention. We hope this study offers valuable insights to SME financing and bank sector reforms.